All right. Well, I've got it.
Okay. I think you ought to know about men's radio. The place where men and women really speak. Oh man, what a show. It's men's radio. This crazy show is on 3 times a week. Now Russ and Phil are there to help with all your cares. We laugh, we cry, we talk like grown-ups do. But if you're sad and low, it won't cost you no dough. And radio, that's the place for you. With Russ Kane and Phil Dave.
The fabulous Mr. Ray Gelato, who is...
So independently, we both went to go and see this week.
Yeah, I had a last-minute invite, so I dashed into town yesterday and just sat by the bar out the way. He's at Ronnie Scott's, so it's Ray Gelato and the Giants here all week. They started on Monday. They're doing 2 shows. Every show absolutely packed. Every show sold out. If there's a ticket and you've never seen Ray Gelato, try and go and see him. I doubt if you'll get a ticket, but it's really worth it. And I think he ends the run on Saturday. Unbelievably good. 2 or 3 encores. 2 or 3 encores and a well-deserved standing ovation. The crowd was absolutely
no,
potty.
Our crowd wasn't that nice. We didn't give him a standing ovation.
What have we got? Backlighting, Russ. Yeah, got backlighting. Robert, how are you? Now, Robert Van Buren just had yet another operation. So we wish him well. I don't know if you're still in hospital. And
can we go the updated one? Sorry, because you did actually put hello, Russ and Phil. There you go.
Oh, that's even better. That's even better. Back here, and here's the answer. Back home recovering best possible. Well, that's fantastic news. Well done, everybody. So this is the very last show of 2023. We look forward. I think we look forward to 2024.
Well, look, let's put it this way. I remember at the end of 2022, we said, look, it can't get much worse. And then 2023 happens. So
were we ever wrong? God damn, were we wrong? So let's hope. I would say pray, but Phil and I have different views on this, but I would say let's just hope it doesn't get any worse in 2024. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all.
The way I look at it is very simple.
Go on.
The way I look at it is very simple. There is nothing wrong with hope if it gets people through a dark patch. So.
Completely. No, Graham, that's not even... No. Judy Voice, formerly of Houston, Texas, now of Guildford. Sorry. Wishing the whole gang here a very Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy and peaceful New Year. Thanks to everyone preserve. Oh, bless you. Well, yeah. That's it.
You should see and try to round up the cars. It's hilarious.
Would you round it? God damn. Anyway, I hate to say it. Right, go on. We'll do what every other radio station on the planet. Hey, so Phil, what are you doing for Christmas? See, that's nothing.
No. I don't believe in Christmas. No, I'm joking. Actually, do you know what? I have to say that Christmas Day should hopefully be quite nice. I've got the prospect. Okay. I'm going to Old Neighbours in the morning. They haven't invited me. No, I was going to say, they haven't invited me. I'm just turning up and hoping for the best.
Just arriving.
And then going to my sister's for lunch. So that should be.
Have you told her, or are you just turning up?
Well, I'm bringing a takeaway, so I think I'm all right.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So if she's
not going to be there, by the way.
No. So what? You've got keys to her home.
Yeah, she just doesn't. I just don't want the mess. I just don't want the mess at my place.
Why should you?
Also the smell. You know when the crackers.
Oh, the smell.
And the smell from those is horrible. So I don't want that stinking out the flat.
No, and you know what, Philip? I particularly like that smell on the London Underground because it's not ghastly enough, but I love it when someone gets on with fast food. And just starts there.
Oh no, that's terrific.
Oh,
absolutely!
It adds so much.
It gives new definition to the term fast food, doesn't it? Really, because it travels quite quickly.
It's lovely. It adds so much. The other day, I'm on the tube nearly every day. It's a standing joke, but I am. And the other day, a woman got on, sat opposite me, and opened a packet of crisps. and I swear to God, I could hear her chomping on these crisps over the noise of the train. It was unbelievable. And I'm thinking, jeez, how loud are you? It was unbelievable. I just sat there staring at this woman.
Did she buy a Pringle ticket?
I don't know what the hell she bought. Julie Voice says, elder son, oh, that's so nice. Elder son is here from New Zealand. How
Hang on.
lovely. What's this?
And the next bit?
And the youngest son and wife are expecting their first baby tomorrow. How marvellous is that? That's great.
Muzzles.
Lovely.
How very exciting.
Congratulations, Julie Voice. How smashing. Absolutely smashing. It's nice to have nice news. You know, something that Phil and I have talked about a lot is, and Phil's already used the word today, is the word hope. It was the last thing to be bought out of Pandora's box when the Pandora's box was open in the fable, in the myths. And, you know, without hope, we have nothing. And I just feel there are some days where I feel hopeless, not about myself, not about my family, about the world. Just because if there's no middle ground, you got no hope. And there's the problem. There's the problem. Elizabeth Green, coming in from New York City, says, Happy Christmas, Grandma Julie. Yeah. What have we got here?
I mean, that is quite a Christmas present. You're basically going to know how the Virgin Mary felt.
Well, yeah. I don't know where her young son lives, but, you know, if the camel turns up with 3 wise men, it could be a sign. Just saying. Graham Pack,
and
would
also,
you care to read this?
Suggest
Phil
you might not want to put the baby in straw. I think we've moved on since then. Graham Pack, this year is the first time.
Is it recyclable? Oh, no, wait a minute. The straw at least would be recyclable.
I suppose so. But it depends where it's come from.
Well, yeah.
So Graham Pack says, yeah, well, quite. Mind you, actually, no, let's not go there. Right. Graham Pack says this year is the first time since we have been married. I don't remember that, Graham. I'm sorry. Which is, I see. Sorry, he means him and his wife, which is 39 years that we are not making Christmas Day at home and going to my son and daughter-in-law. He says they are already moaning about it. Well, I'm not surprised.
You know
I mean, they don't need to put any crackers for bad jokes, Graham. You'll just
no, they don't. They've got Graham. Graham's just going to sit there doing puns all the time. Graham, here's how you get your own back. Don't turn up. Let them go to all the trouble.
That's harsh.
I forgot.
Cooked all the food.
Well, they're already moaning about it. They're moaning about Mr. and Mrs. Sen Monroe. Hello, folks. Wish you all a Merry Christmas. Lots of love to you all. Thanks, Sen. Thanks a lot. Julie Voice says, not too many camels in tooting.
No, but there are a lot of camels who do toot.
Anyway. Yay! No, Graham should have done. They should have left that to Graham. So your son and daughter-in-law are already moaning and kvetching about the fact you're rocking up for Christmas. I think that's hilarious. Hopefully I'll certainly be seeing one of the twins. Hopefully seeing the second twin. Hey, I've got to show you what arrived yesterday. I don't know if you can see it. I saw an advert for this on Facebook, and I had to get it. You know, I don't wear jewelry. I have no interest in jewelry, but I love pens. So this is my new pen. Right? The top. These are all handmade. The top is a bullet, an actual bullet. Gives you some idea of my current mood and the way I think we can get out of this. This is
what I was going to say. I mean, just if you get writer's block, I'd hate to see what happens.
No, the wood is hand turned by some bloke in America, right? And this is the bit I love. I don't know if you can see that the way that you get the nib out of the pen, and it's an actual bullet. They repurpose it. It's a rifle bolt. Can you see? And then if I turn that round, the pen clip is a rifle. I'm tickled with this. I only think it was like 12 quid or something. I mean, it was not like terribly expensive. But
really? I thought you were going to say it's like 200 quid or something. It looks really expensive.
I think it was like 12 or 15 quid or something. It's beautifully made. The metal's really nicely turned. And I just thought, sponsored by the NRA. Well, you know, Sen, the way things are going, fella. I got a question for you. It's worth a shot. And it writes. The most amazing thing, I thought, well, it looks great, but it'll probably write like rubbish. And it writes beautifully. So here's a question for you. Would you ever, if push came to shove, you wouldn't buy a gun, ever? You'd never buy a gun. Would you ever buy a gun?
Me? No. Don't believe in such nonsense.
Julie, it's somewhere on Facebook. I just saw an advert for it. It was nothing. I don't know how on earth they chose me. God knows. And
pepper spray, on the other hand. But yeah,
spray. Would you buy a gun for home defence?
No.
If you lived in a country where it was legal. I'm not talking about for the UK, because the police would arrest you and throw away the key, because that's how it works.
Honestly. I mean, it took me till about the age of 12 that I didn't think the right to bear arms was that people in America wore vests all the time.
You see,
so I absolutely promise you.
I got the right to bear arms.
Yeah. I absolutely promise you. It wouldn't interest me at all owning a gun.
Would it not?
No.
Now, a friend of mine's son who lives in America has just gone out and bought a gun, and I had lunch with my pal this week, and I said, I don't blame him. And if I lived there, I'd buy one straight away. I know it's very unpopular, but I would. And then as soon as after the 12 months had expired, where I'd had to keep it at home, I would apply for a concealed carry permit. I know, not what you want to hear, but that's how I feel. I just feel we... oh, hang on. Azadon Brown says this.
Good gracious me, man. You must have made a fair mint in your life. Jeepers.
Well, here's my Mont Blanc. I love my Mont Blanc. I never travel. This is the... I love this. This was a gift from someone very special. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Yeah, this is my Mont Blanc. This was a gift from someone very special. And I keep it on my desk. I never take it out anywhere. And this is the other Mont Blanc, which I love. It just writes beautifully. I had a set Aza. This is how it drives you mad. I had one. Did you have a gun or a pen? Julie, you're not making it clear. Did you have a Mont Blanc pen or a Glock 9? It's one of the two. I had at one point, maybe 20, 25 years ago, so the whole set. I had the fountain pen, the pencil, and the biro in a beautiful leather case. Went to a meeting, clearly left it there. Phoned them up. Oh no, we haven't got it.
Can I just say that was the most fruitful meeting of my life. So, with Sam Monroe, I have a Mont Blanc. Oh, for God's sake! Come on, we need to talk about pens all the time. I have a Mont Blanc fountain pen. I love
pens.
It.
The pens, the Mont Blanc pens. It's not just a brand. They do write. Absolutely. Oh, you had a gun.
Oh wow, Julie had a gun.
Did you? Oh wow, you've gone up in my estimation, Julie Voice. What did you have? Did you have a Glock? Did you have a Remington? Did you have? I know too much about it, don't I? You have a Browning?
Don't rifle through her private things.
Wait. I wonder if she brought it back to the UK. I'd buy it off her.
I wonder if she kept the receipt.
And she took it back.
Yeah, refund.
The trouble is, I know what I've said is horrible. By the way, record numbers watching today. Bless you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It always makes me laugh.
And makes me think. Shop.
HMV. Can you explain this?
You know, HMV has come back to Oxford Street.
Yeah, it's come back to Oxford Street with vinyl. Good.
Yeah.
I love vinyl. I wouldn't bother with vinyl again because
go there with Larry.
What, Larry vinyl?
Now, I have to tell you, on the pen front, right?
Larry vinyl.
Come on the pen.
That's very good.
I don't know what's wrong with him today. On the pen front, right?
That's really
This is my
good.
one. Do you remember? Actually, it was back when we had the studio, and you said, have you got a pen I could borrow?
Did I? Okay.
Yes. And do you remember my response to you was yes, but don't nick it or don't lose it.
Because
you were most disgruntled. The reason why is because you realized it was a freebie from the Dorchester.
Right. This is the other pen.
This is a pen. Going. It looks very battered, and the etched word Dorchester is all rubbed off, but it's still going.
Does it just say Phil Dave, Nick from the... This is a pen, was given to me by my friend Jane Kerner has a fabulous friend whose opera, we've been hearing about this wretched opera for years, and it's just launched and got rave reviews. He's just a terrific guy. Now, you know Sharpie pens, right? You know Sharpie, you know the big things you mark up stuff with, right?
You mean like that?
And precisely a Sharpie pen. Yeah. Cool. So this, I don't know if you can see it, is and you can get them here now. You couldn't for a while. This is a Sharpie like a
Oh,
biro. Boy, this
wow.
writes fantastically. This is and he said, I want you to have mine. I went, what? It's called an S Gel Sharpie, right? We're not sponsored by them, but I know if you guys like pencils, right? And the trick is so I've got the metal one,
You
which
do know
feels
when
really nice
people
when you
thought
write
we
it.
were right wing, this is not what they had in mind. But anyway.
Yay! Writing, wing, ping, ding-a-ling. The thing to do is go on Amazon, buy the cheapest set of these S gels, which cost tuppence halfpenny because they're plastic and feel horrible, and you just put the cartridge, not the cartridge, the ink thing, right, into the metal one. I really recommend these write for notes. This is like my new lucky pen because I use it for my celebrant work and stuff. So I'm really, really pleased with that. I'm fascinated. Phil, it's a nice looking pen, but there's not. What do we got from Monroe here? Let's see what the boy says. I had a shotgun for years. A Henry Aitken by Purdy. Very nice. It was left to me by my father. I went shooting with it one day. Turks and Greeks love to hunt, usually each other. But I didn't feel I could shoot. No, I can't shoot anything that's
He made
alive.
that bit up, by the way.
So yeah. I didn't have the heart to shoot a wood pigeon. Neither would I. I had no need for the gun. Despite my dad owned it, sold it, and I'm glad that. Yeah, I used to go clay pigeon shooting a lot. I could never shoot anything that was alive. I'm a complete hypocrite because I love meat. I love meat. Okay, I'm not a hypocrite about it. I admit it. Could I shoot it? No. And I know this. If I was taken to an abattoir, I would be a vegetarian within 3 minutes. I know that. I'm not hypocritical about it. Merry Christmas, Russ and Phil, says François Pascal. Joyeux Noël. Elizabeth Green in New York says this, and is it a rhetorical question? Does she need an answer? It's -3 here this morning. Why go out? I don't know. Don't go out. What's this? Oh, we're not doing that joke. You rude person.
What a silly Billy.
Facebook user. What Azadon Brown says, Phil, it's a nice looking pen. There's nothing like a pen that writes smoothly, for which I do recommend.
And I can hand on heart tell you, Azadon Brown, that this is nothing like a pen that writes smoothly.
Oh, no. I tell you what else is good if you're into it. If you're into these. Oh,
I prefer fountain pen.
Right on cue, these Lamy pens. I got 2 of these Lamy pens, not Islamic pens, Lamy pens. If you hear me, right? There we are. One yellow, one white. These write really nicely if I'm in the mood. And I put the cartridges in and I use purple ink. Why do I use purple ink? Why?
Because it's not right.
Yeah, I use purple ink because Enzo Ferrari, the great Enzo Ferrari, as in Ferrari, terrific film, by the way, used only purple ink. And I thought, well, if it's good enough for the greatest car manufacturer, designer of all time, Enzo Ferrari, it's Ferrari for goodness sake, good enough for me. So as a little tribute to him, not that I've ever had or ever would have a Ferrari, there we go. Phil really is the Sharpie tool in the box.
And just to remind you, you are watching QVC. If you're interested in any of the pens that we've took, call the number on the screen now.
Yeah. Oh, no, if we're going to do full QVC. Oh, I've just heard we're running out of medium and small. Medium and small are going very quickly. Now, I can't do this offer again next week. Can I, Phil? This is really, really lovely. Now, ladies, you know, Christmas is coming and that you want a really smooth skin. Can I recommend this? Just rub it on. It is the Mont Blanc Amethyst Purple. It's really lovely. Just get the amethyst purple ink, rub it on your face. It will
bring the color right back into your cheeks.
Yes, it really will. Now, Phil, you've been selling, I know, face product. Do you know I used to work for a while? It was a crazy time for Ideal World, selling all that stuff. God almighty. Jeez. It was all live. There was nothing recorded. It was all live. It was a 4-camera shoot. So I had my earpieces in that were molded specially to fit my ear so you couldn't see them. That courtesy of them. And you had everyone screaming at you in your ears while you're trying to sell all this stuff, right? And you got the monitors down there and you can see how you're doing. The pressure was insanity. Insanity. And I've never worked with such nasty people in my entire life. The other presenters, holy God, they were vicious. vicious, really unpleasant.
Speaking of vicious and
What is it?
unpleasant, Dave Sleet,
Yeah, there's
who
Dave
couldn't be further
Sleet,
from the
yeah.
truth. Dave Sleet says,
You said it,
greetings, one
baby.
and all. Sharing some great news.
Couldn't
My
be further
next
from London,
book,
is what you were trying to say.
yeah, my next book is
Yeah.
being released. What, from prison? Oh, I see. Early 2024,
Mhm.
courtesy of Linus
Yeah.
Books in New York. So there you go. Isn't that exciting? Mazel tov.
I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not that excited.
I mean, I find it a bit irritating when people start
Perfectly.
talking about the fact they've written
Well done.
Christmas stuff.
Oh, I never talk about that. I would
No.
never say that I just finished 84,000
No.
words and handed it in a week ago to my agent, and I've been sitting on
And can I just
tenterhooks
say,
ever since.
don't think we haven't noticed you're a totally different person since you have.
Oh no, dear God!
It's almost like you're you again.
I'm almost me. I'm almost me. I will be kind of me again once. People will say, "Oh, you finished writing the book? Will it be out for Christmas?" No, it won't be out for about 18 months. Of course, it won't. It's an incredibly long, protracted process, which any of you who've ever written a book
I've
will
heard this
know.
one before. I love this one. Good work, Graham Pack.
What? Go on.
Over
go on.
Christmas, what is good King Wenceslas's favorite pizza? Deep
I don't know.
and
I give up.
crisp
What is
and
it?
even.
When the snow yeah, very nice, very good. I'll tell you who's up their game. And I haven't been for years, and the last couple of weeks I've been 3 times. It's all different branches of Pizza Express.
Oh no, I like Pizza Express.
Pizzas are great. Pizzas are great. If they went through a big when I was a kid, Pizza Express, fantastic pizzas. Never seen anything like it because it was Britain and it was rubbish, right? And everything was in black and white. It was shit. Then we go to Pizza Express and go, wow, this is great. And then it got, meh, not so great. And now, I got to be honest, the pizzas are fantastic again. Really delish. Really delish. And not proper money, sensible money, not like insane money. So I'm really pleased with them. Really, really pleased with them. Russ has...
PMS.
Russ has PMS, post-manuscript submission. I do.
It's very good. Well done,
In all
Graham. We
honesty,
like
we do. But that's very good, Graham. You get 10 out of 10 for that. We're all about mental health and well-being here, and I can't tell
Could
you.
have fooled me. Talk about pens for the last 20 minutes.
Whoa, what the hell? It's nearly Christmas. What the heck? Let's have some fun. But not knowing what my literary agent thinks of the new book is a nightmare. It's really nerve-wracking. If he likes it, then he gets behind it and he will sell it like crazy to the various publishers. And if he doesn't like it, I'm doomed, Captain Mothering, doomed. It's very, very, yeah. What? A Facebook user. Did you put this up? I like this. I can't believe that after 20 years, they're still showing reruns of Friends. No one told me life was going to be this way.
Can I just, I need to show you something that is a real beautiful irony that I don't know if many people will get this, but I know you'll appreciate it, Russ. So if you have a look here, have a look at this photo.
Oh, I love that. It's hilarious.
So just to explain to anyone listening and not watching this, I'm holding up a photo of a moment of a reasonably well-known bakery in the northwest London region called Grod's. It used to be called Grzinski's, right? So that should actually give you a rough idea of its heritage. But Grod's, Grodz, okay? And outside, sitting at one of the tables, is, is Father Christmas. And it would appear as though Father Christmas is eating a bagel.
Well, why not? North Pole, twinned with Latvia, probably. I think that's great. I think that's absolutely. I think that's terrific. Hey, I tell you what else is working nicely for me. As we're doing QVC, Russ and Phil do QVC. Is I got given as a beautiful birthday gift by someone very special. It has to be said. Yeah, but I got the new Fitbit. Anyway, the new one didn't work. After like a week, stopped working, sent it back, followed the instructions. It's a whole epic, right? Month and a half later, no Fitbit, so you have to get on the phone and you speak to someone, God knows, halfway up the Himalayas. I don't know where the hell they are, and then you go online, and eventually the next day, after me creating a poo of the first order, I got my new Fitbit. It's really very good, because what I like is it shows my heart rate, which is 67. That's good. That's good. 67 at the moment. That's pretty good. I've walked nowhere. Yesterday I walked 6.5 miles for some reason. I don't know. I was rushing around yesterday. What is this? I love this. This has to be Beanie, because it just says Facebook. It has to be Beanie. Who am I? Descartes. Why am I? Camus. What am I? Chopped liver? It's got to be
Boy me Beanie. After a Friday night out.
Whom I saw for lunch.
Chopped liver.
Oh, that's very good. Chopped liver. Oh, that's good. Grandpa May wasn't fit for purpose. No, it's good. I think what is good about it is it is Boy Beanie, who is off to the United States for weeks. So I wasn't going to see him for a couple of months. We had it's so funny how life changes.
On, that will build up some steps.
We'd always have lunch. We have done since he's going to walk to Los Angeles, and we've had lunch regularly since the 70s, right? Since 74, 75. I don't know, about 1970.
Oh, that's nothing. I've had lunch every day since I was born.
And you weren't. What year were you born?
1986.
When were you born? Like yesterday.
1986.
86. Anyway, so yes, shut your face. Just shut up.
1986.
So Lord and I have been pals since 74, and just shut up. Okay. Really annoying. Anywho, and we always used to go somewhere, and Lloyd would say, I got this new place. I found this new place, right? And we'd go off to the middle of blooming nowhere because it had some, Peruvian menu that Lloyd thought was going to be great. And we'd go and we'd explore. It was always an adventure. Now, this is our lives now. I got to visit my dad in a care home. Mum's in the care home. I'll tell you what, let's go to Pizza Express. Just somewhere local. It's just
today's show is sponsored by Pizza Express.
Yeah. Have you just realized he's 12, the kid? Elizabeth Green. God, you're younger than my eldest son.
I thought God was ancient. Oh, I see. You mean me?
Phil, right. I love this. This is so true. Julie Voice. Phil, I got shoes older than you. Bloody right.
But I've got more soul.
Yay. There's a pronoun before that. Phil,
I'm very worried. Normally, Chantal Rickards, when she's in the digital green room, will always laugh out of politeness at my terrible humor. And today, I have told no less than 3 gags in the time she's been connected. And every single one has got a shake of the head. I'm very worried. She's in a very, very stressed mood today, I can tell you.
No, Phil, let me explain. This is a woman who was head of BAFTA Los Angeles. She's dealt with she's not used to you. She deals with DiCaprio. She has De Niro in her office. And I had nothing.
What does Mrs. De Niro say about that?
Yeah, no. Right. Asa Don Brown says this: guns have been part of my life since early childhood. In my life, I've been taught to respect and to properly handle a gun. Yes, it's not guns that kill people. It is people that kill people. I've been taught what to do and what not to do with a gun. Correct. I've used guns in both Canada and the States. My wife and I have a farm, and guns play an essential part of it. When the Apaches attack,
when you don't take in the washing or something.
Yeah, when she says, "Are you going to put the stuff in the dishwasher?" No, lock and load. Imagine what it's like in the Brown household. I've always had. What is this one? I better read it first. Oh, go on. Man. I always go and read it.
I always cook a special meal to celebrate February the 14th. I put layers of pasta together with bechamel sauce, minced lamb, and aubergine. Yeah. I call it the St. Valentine's Day moussaka.
That's very good. Oh, come on, that's good.
It was very funny.
It'd
be even funny if I said moussaka in the correct way.
I'm bringing her on because I can't take this criticism, this critiquing the whole time.
What?
I'm finding her very difficult to today.
Well, I've been told that by several people. You're not the first, Russ, to say what a difficult human being I am.
I'm very worried. You're channeling your inner Nina Mishkal today. What's happened?
Oh, Nina wears pink. I'm wearing my Father Christmas red jumper.
No, I mean with how annoyed you're getting with both of us. I'm worried.
Do you know the irony? And you wouldn't know this. When I go for dinner around Phil, you wouldn't know this. When I go down around for dinner at Chantal's, Nina Miskow is often there, and she's absolutely charming. It's like all the villains you see on TV in real life are absolutely lovely. Like, I was terrified of her, and she's like the loveliest person. She's really charming. Other people you think are going to be great,
like that as well, actually,
and they're just horrible.
Well, I'll tell you who else is a bit like that, really, and people still, even when I tell them this, find it really hard to believe, was Katie Hopkins.
What? She was very nice. She was really,
she was
really
one
nice.
of the nicest people, honestly.
I know.
Which is really weird.
I know.
Because somehow it's counterintuitive. You just sort of think you were so prepared to dislike someone intensely.
Yeah.
And then when you meet them and then suddenly they're not this... And I tell you, the other person, of course, who often people think along those lines of is the mighty James Whale, of course. Chantal, who I know you know very well.
Don't
they
forget
often
Chantal.
think...
Yeah,
I know Chantal worked with him for years, but the way that everyone thinks he's going to be this really nasty individual. Honest to God, I can hand on heart tell you he's one of the nicest people in broadcasting.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Funny
James
enough,
Wales, charming guy, and brave, and a brave man for so many reasons.
Yeah. Well,
thank goodness he's still with us. I wasn't convinced, to be honest, and I will say this openly. I thought James had got so ill. I thought it was touch and go. He's still with us, thank heavens. He's fighting on.
He is.
Still working.
Yep.
And he's a lovely man. He's a very lovely man.
And
a long, fingers crossed, may it continue. I made a mistake in the early days of men's radio. It's a serious point I'm going to make.
Do you mean in the early
actually,
days?
In the early days of MRS, with you and I in the studio, and I managed to get Katie Hopkins as a guest. And then a member of staff, who's no longer with us, surprisingly, said, "No, I'm sorry, I'm really unhappy about it." And I said, "I'm not going to, I'm not happy about this." And I thought, in retrospect, I thought, well, I'm paying you. I don't really care what your opinion is. Just press the buttons in the right order and shut up about it. That's kind of it. It's not, it's not, we don't vote. And I wanted to understand from a mental health point what it was like to be her. And before everyone goes, "Dude, what do you do?" What I mean is, if you're so hated and so abused and so constantly trolled, what does it do to you? What does it do to your family? That's what I wanted. I wasn't interested in it. I didn't want to discuss politics. And she was...
And before any wisecracks, no, I don't know. But anyway.
Don't know what?
What it's like. So.
No, nothing. I'm talking about Phil. I'm talking about Katie Hopkins. And I thought it was a really interesting piece. And I stupidly, and I regret it, I caved in and I listened to staff members, which I shouldn't have done. And I never released it. When I said, well, could I put it out? She said, no. I agreed to do it for men's radio, and she was right, and I was absolutely wrong. And I always put my hand up when I'm wrong. And I was dumb. It was a great interview with Phil and myself, and she was just very, very interesting. What's it like when you're standing at the school gates and people are saying horrible things to your children? It's not the children's fault. Children aren't saying any of this.
Well, my mother used to cheer them on.
In the 7 schools that you attended.
I don't believe that for a moment.
No, we did. It's absolutely true. 7 schools in Canada.
No, I think that Chantal meant she doesn't believe that my mother cheered them on.
Exactly. I know your mum.
Your mother is the leading fan. Is the #1 member and treasurer of the Phil Dave fan club in Canada.
But she can't be bothered to get up tomorrow though when I'm on air. But whatever.
Yeah, I've had bears literally at my front door in both. God, and you lived in Chicago. That's strange. In front door in both the States and Canada, and I've encountered a cougar once. Speaking of cougars, ladies and gentlemen, Chantal Rickards. So there we go.
That was terrible. That was beyond terrible. Oh
awful,
God!
Absolutely awful.
Yeah, you're both very bouncy today. I
Graham,
think there's quite a lot of.
Do you know what it is?
well,
we're D-Mob happy. We know we've got next week off.
D-Mob happy. That's it. It's the last show for
So
a,
we're not
for a
coming
little
into
bit.
work next. Oh no!
Well, no, we've got next week off from this. I'm still going to work.
No, that's what I mean.
I'm going to work on Boxing
No.
Day. I'm doing early breakfast on
No, no,
Boxing
no.
Day on a certain channel.
You
So
are. Tell everybody.
Okay.
Tell everybody about it. Go on.
just
Tell
bought a
everybody about
copy
your
of
show.
What
Give it a
Half.
plug. Give
No,
it a
we want to
plug.
know.
Give
Give it a
your
plug.
show
Oh,
a
sorry.
plug.
I do
Yes,
beg your pardon.
please.
Sorry, absolutely. Yeah, you're quite right. I naturally I do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Go on.
Here you go.
Oh, God. Give me strength. Shanta's
Anyway.
give me strength. I can't. I just can't. I can't cope.
Okay.
No,
No,
now that
so-
was quite funny. It was quite
Thank
quick.
It wasn't
and quite
funny. And
Well, I
as
thought
a
it was
rule,
quite sparky.
I didn't think it was that funny. Hey,
Oh
come
dear,
on.
oh dear.
Okay, I'm keeping this going. Right.
It's fine. We'll keep going.
Are you going to plug your
You've
show or
you've
not?
made
Do I
your
have to do-
point. Right. Anyway,
Ugh.
so look, okay, I'll keep going till I find one you like. I don't care. Right. Anyway, so yeah. So in terms of the show, you're very kind. So over the next week, right, over the course of the next 9 days, there will be a total of 5 occasions when yours truly, hello, will be doing the early breakfast show on a certain station by the name of Talk TV. So So yes, if you happen to be up at 5 o'clock on either tomorrow or Sunday or Boxing Day or the next weekend, then feel free, and I'm sure you might just recognize the mug behind the camera.
And he'll be on his best behaviour because it's proper grown up.
No, I know it's grown up
what have you
television.
got,
I have
Neil?
to be really sensible. It's really annoying.
So, Phil, how long is the show? It starts
Hiles,
2 hours. 5
too long. It's too long.
Right,
Too
brilliant.
long.
Too long? You're joking me? I'm used to doing 3 hours. What are you talking about? Much better. Lee
We
Durnford.
used to do 4 hours. Used to do
Hiles,
4-hour
this-
shows.
Really? Good Lord. That's what happened before the internet was invented.
Mm.
Lee Durnford, hi, all listening from my
No,
bed.
that was Petrie. Petrie Hoskin used to do 4-hour shows.
Oh,
4 hours
Petrie
on
doing
these
4 hours.
shows.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no,
Yeah,
no,
I
that's
didn't
good.
do 4-hour shows. But...
Lee Durnford says, hi, all listening from my bed. Day 5 of COVID. Uh-oh. Blooming
Human
nightmare,
nightmare.
he says. Keep well, folks, and don't open doors to grizzly bears. Thank you for that,
No,
Lee.
that's a good idea.
Francine
Warner
Warner
sends. I have no idea what that means.
She sends a kiss,
There's
a black
lips, there's a
That's
heart,
bit
there's a-
harsh. There's a
yeah.
sort of a face that's a loving face, and it
And
looks like a
something I
cup of
can't see. I
coffee.
don't know. Could be.
Maybe what she's
Oh,
saying
here we go.
is she sends you a
Chantal.
kiss. She loves you, loves watching, and she's having a cup of coffee.
Bless you,
She's on her
Francine.
7th gin. She's on her 7th gin by now. I mean, it's 20 to 1. Should be well through that bottle of Gordon's. Chantal looking gorgeous.
She's much
Well,
classier. Don't
Always,
be
she
silly.
always does. She always looks gorgeous. Is there anything worth watching at all on telly, or is it all reruns of The Good Life, which is probably worth the only thing worth?
There are good things, I think, to watch
Okay.
this Christmas.
All right.
I've watched some of them. Some of them are withheld until Christmas Day and Boxing Day. So I'm going to rattle through a few, the sort of the likely Christmas chestnuts that we would probably all gather around. But I wanted to start with actually the Hairy Bikers, I've never really watched the Hairy Bikers. I've sort of liked what they've done, but I don't know their work terribly well.
I like them.
They are celebrity chefs. For those that don't know their work, they're celebrity chefs who've been on the BBC now for 20 years. And their shtick, if you like, is basically they travel around on motorbikes. They both are, hairy guys, big flowing beards and sort of crazy hair. And that's sort of been their thing for 20 years. Prior to that, Dave, who is the smaller one, was a makeup artist, a television makeup artist.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
didn't know
And
that.
I was a locations manager, television locations manager, film and TV.
And
So,
Dave
and they
was really ill recently, so thankfully.
well, this is the
Dave's been horribly ill.
So Dave Myers has had cancer for the last 18 months, and this is the first program that they have made together in 18 months, and it's basically Hairy Bikers coming home for Christmas. It's a one-off special, but it's about his cancer journey and creating a fabulous meal. and big party for all the people who've helped him through his cancer journey. But it tells you an awful lot about their relationship, the two men. So you remember that we've talked about Mortimer and Whitehouse and the Gone Fishing series, which is two men coming together, when one of them, in fact, in that case, they had both been ill and they both look at their lives quite differently and they have become more sort of pensive. Well, that's sort of the same theme in this program about how these guys are coping with the illness of one of them and how it's affected them both emotionally. And I just think it's really powerful because there's so much positivity in it. One hopes that he's through his cancer journey, but clearly there are still questions around it. But it's a lovely program and it's absolutely worth watching, as well as learning how to make the most fantastic Yorkshire puddings made out of naan bread, which some Asian chef that they come across in the West Midlands created for them. It's fantastic. It's a really sweet, gentle way to settle down with a mince pie and a cup of tea and just watch these two guys. They are so fond of each other, and that genuine warmth just bounces off the screen because they're very authentic blokes. A lot of the celebrity chefs, you just feel as though it's all gloss, but not with those two. I think it's a really strong friendship, and it's lovely.
Which is interesting because do you remember? And if I've got the title wrong, I'm not being rude. I think is what it was called. Two Fat. Was it called Two Fat Ladies? Or
Two Fat Ladies. Yes, indeed.
Now, the way it was presented to the public, and I was fooled. I thought they were dear old pals and they travelled. They'd never met in their lives. They were put together by a producer. They were complete strangers, and they didn't like each other at all. It was really interesting. There was no. It was clever how they one of them has passed on now some years ago.
They both have. I've forgotten that. They're both gone.
They're both gone now.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Makes me feel even older. But it was really interesting. They kind of came across as mates. They absolutely weren't mates at all.
What was it? Jennifer? I can't remember what Jennifer's surname was.
Clarissa
Dixon Wright.
Well done.
Clarissa Dixon Wright, and the other one
Jennifer. What was her name? For goodness' sake, I've got to look this up because it's going to annoy me.
I can't remember. I should know.
This is coming in from Ace Actress. This is coming in from Ace Actress. She said, I watched 10 Rillington Place, and I can only think of Sir Richard Attenborough in that. I watched 10 Rillington Place last night. I had to leave after a while.
Jennifer Patterson, of course it was.
Oh, yeah.
That meant nothing to me. I can't remember that. Had to leave it after a while. Really, Tim Roth, what an actor he is, was so creepy. What a great actor he is, says Françoise Pascal. She knows about acting.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it, Graham. That's disgusting. That's horrible. Graham. Should be ashamed of you. Really. Honestly, even I have standards, and that's horrid. Right. What else have you said? I'm not putting it up. I'm not even looking at it. What?
No, I'm going to pass the next review over to
Wow. That was a bit far, Graham. I'm not going to lie.
That's really like, wow.
That's horrid.
Graham Pack.
Besides, one of them was cremated.
Just stop, for God's sake. Right. Can we listen to the wonderful Chantal OBE, please?
I'm trying, but you keep talking.
No, but actually this time I'm going to throw it back to you because we can now talk about, and you mentioned it very, very briefly earlier on, we can now talk about Ferrari that I took you to see about 2 months ago.
Yeah,
yes.
Quite a while. Yeah,
and at the time, we weren't allowed to talk about it, and there was no point in talking about it 2 months too early. Nope. It will now bounce onto our screens, I think, it's either Christmas Day or Boxing Day that it comes out. Probably Boxing Day is the best one to go for. And it's definitely worth seeing. But I think you rather liked it when we saw it.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And the thing about it is you don't need to be a petrol head, which I know I am. And I love racing cars and sports cars from the 50s. I just do. So this is set in 1957, and it's a crucial time in the Ferrari story. So what they haven't done is taken a whole arc of where he started and where he ends up. It's not. It's just a few months in 1957 in Italy where Enzo Ferrari, not Nick Ferrari, twerp, Paul, good gag. It's Enzo Ferrari, and he's got this factory. He's obsessed with Formula One, and he's only making road cars so he can finance Formula One. And his big rival is Maserati, who have the opposite view. They're in Formula One, but they want it to promote the road cars. And at that time in 1957, Ferrari was only making 90 90 cars a year. That was it. And Maserati was doing better. So he had to do something spectacular, and he had to win what they call the Mille Miglia, which was the big, still is a big race, very dangerous as turned out. And it's just the story of him and his wife, and the fact that he has a separate life with a son and a complete different family. And so he's got all this personal stuff and the business stuff and the racing stuff. The best thing about it is directed by the wonderful Michael Mann, who's like one of my absolute heroes. And funnily enough, Colin Vaines, who I see at least once a week, the producer of Gangs of New York and My Week with Marilyn and all the rest of it. And Colin was hooked up with Michael Mann the other week when Michael was in town, and pictures with him, all the rest of it. And he looks great. Michael Mann's 80 now. He's in his 80s. Can't believe it. He did Miami Vice. That was him. He directed those or produced them. Do you remember Miami Vice? That was Michael Mann.
Yeah.
The even best thing about it.
Yeah. But it was written. The film was written by Troy Kennedy Martin, who was a British.
Created Z-Cars.
Now, Troy Kennedy Martin left the planet some time ago, but he wrote this script 30 years ago, which Michael Mann has pulled out of the bottom of his drawer. Michael Mann actually worked in the advertising industry in the UK in the 60s. And I think he was a fan of Z-Cars, rather bizarrely. And he knew Troy Kennedy Martin, and that's how the script for this brand new film came about. It's got Adam Driver in, who's actually a much younger man than Enzo was at the time. Enzo Ferrari was
way younger,
at the time that the film is set. But they've aged him incredibly well. And
looks
his
really
wife is...
Ross has had that effect on me.
Yeah.
I'm only 23. Look what an effect Phil's had on me.
Yeah, you've got a baby face, Phil. But anyways, married to yes, in a rather sort of chaotic marriage with Penelope Cruz, the Spanish actress who is just drop dead good looking, and they've aged her, and they put special prosthetics in her shoes to make her sort of walk with a waddle, and they put prosthetics around her hips to make her look bulkier than she is. But I mean, she's still an incredibly beautiful woman, and everybody is
just hate people like that.
Yeah, I know. Well, there we are. And she's also an incredibly talented actress. I think this is one of the best performances of her life. So expect her to be nominated for some good things.
Oh, really? And that would be good.
Yeah. Good. And the start of the film, they've just lost their son, who was going to be the heir to Ferrari. But as you mentioned, Russ, and what a lot of people know about Enzo is that he had a mistress and they had a son, but he couldn't recognize that son because it was a son born out of wedlock. And so it isn't just a petrolhead film. There is a big emotional story about Enzo and his wife and his mistress and the interplay between the three of them. So it works for girls and it works for guys. And I think you really enjoyed it on every level. I enjoyed it on every level.
I loved it. The only thing I would say is if you can see it in a cinema, a good cinema, because the sound, now I know this sounds weird. You're going, well, I've got a good TV, and the sound is sensational. Absolutely.
And if you
fantastic.
can't, take an iPad to the middle of the M25, you'll get the idea.
No, well, in fact, what they did with the sound, interestingly,
won't.
They borrowed Nick Mason's Ferrari.
Pink Floyd drummer.
Yep. They borrowed his
Does he
Ferrari.
know that?
Yeah, he does know that.
Okay, that's
no one told him. Michael Mann didn't mention it.
And they put, I think, something like 11 or 12 different microphones all over that car. They then took it into a tunnel so that the sound reverberated around the tunnel in a sort of 360 way to create the sound that is fed in all the way through the film. It's brilliant. I'm sure it'll win Best Sound Design.
It should do, because I know this sounds really niche, but when they're changing, these are 1957 cars. There is no safety equipment. There's nothing. The guy is talking, he gets in, they're just wearing trousers, shoes, and a polo shirt. He puts on some rubbish crash helmet, which is useless, and a pair of leather gloves. That's it. So when you have an accident, It's horrific. I won't
Yeah.
lie about that. But the sound of even the gear changes, and oh my God.
Yeah.
We were lucky. We went to the IMAX cinema, and if you not the IMAX, I'm so sorry, the Dolby. So if you can't get good sound in the Dolby theater, you might just give up.
The best,
watch it on your phone. Oh my
yeah,
God,
we were treated. It's also got
really
Patrick Dempsey, who is Patrick Dempsey, the American actor, Dr. McDreamy, for those that watched Grey's Anatomy, and he is a motor racing driver in his sort of spare time. So he's in the film too, and Jack O'Connell, the British actor, who's also in it. It's great. I mean, it's really worth watching, but see it in the best cinema that you could possibly see it, the biggest screen, and the
just also, especially because we live in the I know we've got a lot of the audiences abroad, but especially because we live in the UK, and the scenery in Italy, which is of course my favourite place on the earth, the beautiful scenery around Maranello, where the factory.
How can you compare it?
It's twinned with Rotherhithe, I think. The Tuscan scenery, as far as I'm concerned, is twinned with Rotherhithe.
Oh, is that where they recorded the tunnel effects?
Yeah, they used that's it. They put the Ferraris in the Rotherhithe tunnel. That's why it was always so slow. But it's just lovely. Anyway, enough about that. What else is on telly?
Well, another quick cinema one. If you want to take the family out and you want to see something that's just a little bit schmaltzy, sort of suits the Christmas vibe, it's a little bit silly. Taika Waititi is a New Zealand director who I really, really like. And he's brought out a bizarre little film, which is a bit like Cool Runnings, but for football. And it's a true story of the American Samoa football team who played Australia and lost 31-0.
There's a shock.
And it was the worst ever loss in international football. God. And so they take on, seriously, American Samoa take on a coach who's a grumpy Dutch-American coach, really grumpy Dutch-American coach, who comes over from, I don't know, Los Angeles or somewhere. And no, but his brief is to make sure that they just have to score one goal. So it's not win a tournament, that all his contract basically says you've got to get the team to score one goal. So, and it's a completely true story, and you think this is absolutely mad. The casting's a bit strange. Elizabeth Moss is the ex-wife, and I'm not quite sure that she's the right person for it. But Michael Fassbender as the coach is a really interesting choice, because this is not normally the sort of thing that Michael Fassbender would do. He tends to do quite complicated psychological characters, and this is a comedy at the end of the day. So if you want something that's just a gentle, a nice little mild titter for the afternoon, this is the film to go and see in the cinema. It's bound to come out on Netflix something soon.
What's it called?
It's called Next Goal Wins, which is a terrible title because you'll never remember it.
I was going to say, anyway, that's really catchy.
I know.
That's a weak title, isn't it? Ooh,
it's a weak title, isn't it? I don't.
Cool Runnings was hilarious. Cool Runnings, you always think, I'll just watch a couple of minutes of it. It was a very sweet. It was a sweet, fun. No. I'm just watching anime at the moment. So I won't. But well, these things are not. I wonder whether it's so constricted these days that that's why these things aren't that funny. I just wonder whether they think.
Oh, people are absolutely terrified of offending.
Can't
terrified.
Do this. Mustn't say that. It's a.
Well, actually, I went to see Rich Hall in stand-up about 3 weeks ago. Rich Hall is the American comedian who has a sort of character called, I think he's called Albert G. Crenshaw or something. But anyway, I was slightly worried that I hadn't seen him since pre-woke, and I thought he was going to have neutered all his material? Is it just going to be too safe? And actually, very fortunately, I was delighted to find out that it wasn't too safe. It was still edgy. He's still a great political commentator. It's just a great commentator on life. But it was naughty where it was supposed to be naughty. It was pushing boundaries where it was supposed to be pushing boundaries. So hopefully that goes for the same for other stand-ups. But I'm not sure because I don't go to stand-up very often. But let's hope comedy isn't dead.
Nor me. Nor me. I really don't, because I certainly don't sit in the front. I sit right at the back and hope to God I just mind my business. You were talking about Michael Fassbender. Did you see, because it got a lot of promotion, Killer? Well, it doesn't spell out killer, but it's the word killer, where he's a hitman.
Started it. Yeah, I've started it, and it's one of the BAFTA-nominated films. We've got to get our votes in by next Friday. So I haven't seen it yet, but I will have seen it by next Friday. I thought the first 10 or 15 minutes were quite slow. Is it okay?
We can lose the word quite. No, Chantas, we can lose the word quite. I sat there going, come on. We get the point. You're a hitman. We've seen 1,000 hitman movies. We've seen them from every country, in Korea and China and everywhere. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
Pick up the pace.
Oh, so it wasn't just me then, because sometimes when I watch things, I just think, "Oh, am I just being impatient?" But it did feel like
no, not you at all. The first 10 minutes are like swimming through concrete. I mean, it was just like so brilliant.
Oh, okay.
Somebody pointed out, a critic pointed out that this is the guy who's a hitman. It's not a spoiler. Don't worry about it. He's a hitman. He's a very professional hitman. And we've seen this story so many times. I mean, it's entertaining, but there's nothing new. There's not one fresh thought in the whole thing.
Okay.
Right? And it's beautifully done, but nothing new. And the critic in one of the magazines or newspapers says, here's a guy who spends the first 10, 12 minutes, even more maybe, setting out his rules for life. This is what you have to be a hitman. You're thinking, okay, well, if I ever change profession, I want to be a hitman, I better make a note, right? And he thereupon spends the next 2 hours breaking every single rule that he's supposed to live by. And I'm going, wait a minute, there's something completely awry here.
Okay. Well, listen, to finish with, because we're getting to the end of the show, I just want to say, if you loved the first series of Beyond Paradise, that was the spin-off from Death in Paradise, Christmas special is on Christmas Eve. Yes.
Oh, yes.
There's the Piano at Christmas, which we've talked about in the past with the lovely Claudia Winkleman. That's got a Christmas special on Channel 4 on Christmas Day. Vera, there's a special on Christmas Day, or on Boxing Day on ITV. And then there's Death in Paradise Christmas special itself, which is also on Boxing Day on the BBC. And I'm sure there'll be
Vera, every show with Vera. Come on, love. Put that bomb down. Put down the rifle. Let's have a nice cup of tea. And they all go, okay. And they just toddle off with this little diminutive woman in a rain mac and a hat. Put the AK-47 machine gun down. Never has a problem.
I know. She's
fantastic. It's really good. She's totally three-dimensional in that. I mean, I completely believe that Vera is a detective somewhere, a police officer. Chantal, I don't know you do, really. Not. Well, I kind of do. She's good. I enjoy it. It's nice. And also, I like the fact it's not set in London. It's an area I don't know at all. I like looking at the scenery and the culture. It's good. Yeah, Chantal, I want to say on behalf of everybody at Men's Radio, and I know all the audience all over the world, thank you. So many people, wherever I go, oh, isn't she lovely? Isn't she gorgeous? Isn't she charming? And I go, not in real life, not really. It's all an act. She's horrible. She goes like this at the end of the.
It's been great.
Scared the hell. Thank you so much. Very happy Christmas and a happy and a healthy
happy holiday, as they say in America.
Indeed.
Yeah, happy
Merry
holidays
Christmas and Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year,
thank
indeed.
You so much, Chantas.
On the other side.
Thank you. See you on the other side.
Absolutely. Bye-bye. And now we finish today's show with the only way we possibly can. Take it away, Ross. No, I'm joking. Anyway, what? But
what? Oh, I see. Right. Listen, everybody, I know we live in mad, crazy times. These are not good times, really, unlike the song. So stay safe. Don't go on social media. Don't go on Twitter or X, whatever it's called. It'll drive you insane. Be
It'll change
happy.
its name
Be
next year.
healthy.
It'll become Y.
Why? WHY. Why?
Exactly.
Why am I
Why?
here? Everybody have a wonderful time. Try and rest up. Don't get into arguments. Eat too much. Drink too much, and just have some fun. That's it. We will be back in January. Phil, I never get the chance to say thank you, but thank you for everything you do. Phil is.
And thank you,
know,
Russell,
means
for
a
this
lot.
mighty fine platform you've given everyone.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. Let's keep it all going. Guys, happy Christmas. Bye-bye.
Bye.